Thanks for joining me today. We've got the Mazda CX-5 here. The near side front suspension has got some play in one of the ball joints. It's failed its MOT. So yeah, let's go and have a quick look, see if we can figure out what's going on. We've got a nice juicy jacking point under here. On the sill, it's marked out there so you can't go wrong. First thing we've got to do is have a little feel of this wheel. See if we can figure out where it is. There's a little bit left to right. There's nothing up to down, so it's
got a bit of wibbly on the jack there, so we'll definitely put an axle stand under this before we go underneath it. Let's go and get the steering wheel turned so we can get this right round to the right hand side. Gives us a bit of a better view at that trap rod end. See if it's the steering rack or the trap rod that's actually playing up.
Yeah, you can clearly see as I wiggle that wheel that the plate is in this outer trap rod end there. Up and down there isn't anything, so we know the bottom ball joint is okay and the top mount is all alright. There's nothing going on in there. Whip this wheel off.
So I've got the good old Milwaukee impact gun there. Cracking bit of kit. I'll pop links in the description for it, as I will for all the tools and equipment we use today. We'll pop that wheel under the car, again just to save if it does drop down, then it's going to land on that rather than on the floor.
Right, so this is the trap rod end here. You can see we've got some wear on the little boot there as well, but we're going to have to get it off. So to start with on this, we've got this top nut, little spring clip through there, so we're going to crack that off. We'll release this bolt on the top. This trap rod end is pressed into this arm at the top, so it's going to be tight getting it out. Also, we need to crack this nut off here, and the thread runs right down inside of the trap rod end from the steering rack, so we need to just put some lube on that, just get everything lubed up and then crack it off and get it moving before we actually release it from the hub. Last thing we want to do is take that out and then not be able to get that bit off. So yeah, there's a little sequence we've got to do to get it off. Let's have a go. Like I say, first things first, let's get a bit of lube in there. Got the old Rostov lube, we'll have a bit of that on the top of that one to start with, and a bit of that on the threads there as well. Okay, let's have that slipping out of there. Spring clipped. A little wiggle out it comes. I'm going to be getting under here a little bit, so I'm going to drop my axle stand under the bottom of there just to make sure we don't drop on us if anything goes wrong. I've got a 17 on that one there, just crack that off. It's getting tight up to the top. I'll soon have that off though. There we go, let's get rid of that. But that is, like I say, still solid into that arm. Now we need to crack that lock nut off the back there, which is 21mm spanner. As you turn that, it will lock out on the ball joint. That is tight. There it goes. Now we're only talking about just cracking that one off. We want to keep that exactly where it is. We don't want to move that because that'll alter us tracking. All we've got to do is release it from here, which we can do with a big hammer. We'll give it some bashing on there, and it should just pop out with a bit of luck. Like that. There we go. And now we should be able to screw that off of there like that.
I do apologise for the poor audio quality. It's not going to last long, it will get better in a minute.
Right, there you go. And that's the trap rod end, just that piece there. All we need to do is make sure that the new one is exactly the same size. And then the tracking should be exactly the same when we put it back together. Right, and so we've got a new one. Let's pop it out the box and see what we get. Make sure it's right. Part number on that one is that. Get the new split pin in there as well, which is always nice. So the interesting, or the most important piece is the length of it. A nice new castle nut on the top. Okay, let's have a look and just match these two up. So the length of them is identical, absolutely spot on. Right then, so let's get this wound on. All the way up to where it was before. And actually there, look, we're upside down, so we're going to have to change it slightly. Okay, let's get that up there. I mean, we are really close on that one. There's new castle nut on there. Oh, it's bigger than the old one. $18 or $19? It's a 19, this one. I mean, that's pulled through well beyond where it was before.
I do think the other nut though wasn't a castle nut. This one is a castle nut, so it looks worse. We could space it with a washer if you really wanted to, but it's having the pin through it. It's not going to come out, so I'm not too fussy.
I'll make sure that's up nice and tight. You can see that lock pin going through, but it's not actually on the castle nut there at all, is it? Mind you can say that about the old one as well, that was actually protruding out the top. But let's get that on, we'll get that peeled back. I'm going to come from the back, let's go that way, it'll be easy to work it. And then we just bend those round. And then we can just nip them shy if we want to take a bit off them. Like so. That's not coming off. And we'll do that one up now then. If we need to adjust this, we can do.
I just get the spanner on there, clean that nut up a little bit, make it easier in a minute. Get rid of some of that dust and debris that's on there.
Pop a spanner onto that to hold that, because we don't want to stress this new one up. And then we'll lock that up into position. Okay, that's up tight. What we can do, if you haven't got any tracking gauges, we know when we started this process that the steering wheel, when we were going straight line down the road, was in the centre. If we drive it down the road and the steering slightly over to one side, we know that we've not got this exactly the same. So we can alter that accordingly until the steering wheel comes into the centre. Then we know we've pretty much got it spot on.
Let's have the wheels back on. We'll just drop them in, pop the nuts back on. And these are torqued up to 113 Newton meters. I've got the electronic settings on the gun.
And that's lovely now, I've got no play in that at all. Stand out.
I'll have a quick tidy round and then drop the jack down, get it back on the level. Go for a drive. So at the minute I'm driving down the road, the steering wheel is just slightly left hand down. So we need to just straighten it back up again, a tiny amount, which means if we straighten that steering up like that, it means we need to just turn that wheel back a bit, which means we need to screw inwards on that track rod slightly, just probably one turn. So let's just whiz it right over. So we get underneath, we can just crack off this big bolt again, and then we can just wind the trap rod into the trap rod end. I ain't gonna go too mad. I'm just gonna go a little bit and just see how it fares when we'll try it again. That'll just lock out now, and then we'll do that big bolt back up again. I'll just do it slightly tight on this one for now, and then I'll really lock it up once we know it's right. There we go, it's now perfectly straight as we're going down the road. So there we have it, front ball joint on the steering there, changed over, replaced, play's gone, absolutely spot on, back to how it should be. Steering wheel's nice and straightforward, it's straight as a die down the road, so we know the tracking's good. If it's been of any use to you, drop me some comments, always love your comments. Let's get this back through its MOT. I'll see you in the next video.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.